got tired of that. I wanted more. Crap, brain fart. Anyway, so yeah, I had to fill in this giant hole, so I started, deciding how to attack them more. Instead of focusing so much on just what's going on in Spain, maybe I can focus on the fact that there's probably other Slayers all over the world. So I started introducing the whole global aspect of Darkwing and really focusing more on that, and that's when I started creating all these Slayers. And that's really what I've been doing the last few months, is writing the story in a way to include these giant amounts of characters. And that's how I feel DeviantArt has really come in handy, because DeviantArt is such a global market. There's literally people from all over the world on it, and it really helps me to get my facts right. Like just today, came up with the Czech Republic Slayer, a Czech Republic Slayer, who is the Slayer for Finland. And my good friend Dashi-kun, I hope I pronounced that correctly, who lives in Finland, gave me proper names, proper words in Finnish to name his last name. And and that alone, and I have friends in Britain, United Kingdom, who I plan to turn to whenever I have to write something for the British Slayer or any of the United Kingdom Slayers. I have friends in Canada who I can turn to when I'm writing for the Canadian Slayer. I have friends in Spain even help me with keeping me straight with my Spanish facts, even though I got my father. By the way, I'm my father's a full-blood Spaniard. I'm half-blood Spaniard, and I got some Cuban, and basically I'm Cuban and Spanish. That's the foremost part of me. I'm like 1/18 Chinese, and I'm like a little Italian, and I have some Irish in me, but that's only like 1-2%, and I've learned that if you can't see, now I like dark. I have very Asian eyes, and as my mother would put politically incorrectly, I have very chinky eyes. So you can't really see, but I have very Asian eyes, and that's my 1/18 Chinese in me. And so just keeping my stracks straight, and so that's what really helped with this global concept of adding to Darkwing, is that because I have all these friends, I can really write it well. And so because of that, Darkwing has really become a grandiose story, and where it's a story that I've really tried. It's basically an interpretation of evil, and it's basically, you would have to read it to really get it. It has a lot of themes and a lot of plots to it. Really, what Darkwing is to me was an idea I had. It's a story I want to tell, and then after I came up with how to make the story entertaining, then I had how can I make it interesting? How can I make it grab people? A lot of times, writers don't just write something to get a point out. They write it because they want to write. I'm a writer. I want to write the story. I just like to entertain people. I like to make stories interesting, to grab people, to make people think. My art is to make people think. Maybe not my fan art of Lee fighting Spider-Man. That's just for me. Just to make people think. And that's what I want to do with these stories, among other stories I've written, like Unlucky Sunday, my other manga, Age of Dragons, which I've mildly mentioned, and my other story, which is the sequel to it, Legion of the Dragon, which I've also mildly mentioned on my gallery. And then my other story, Demigods, which you can find some scrap drawings of in my scrap section. And just all this stuff. And after I'm done writing all the chapters for Darkwing, after I'm done doing all the when he's fighting a character, I don't want to give too much away. And basically, it's just, the death of a god and death of a titan, and I have this whole thing about how I would have to explain 2/3 of the story for you to get this line, so I'm not even going to bother. But basically, just, the whole thing of, once you start to understand the story, Jason's character is he's someone who is not affected by the darkness. This is someone who lives in darkness. This is someone, if not thrives on darkness. He's very stoic, but he's expressive. He's not overly emotional, but he's kind and he's loving and he can be caring. He's really the balanced character, and not so much balanced, but he's just very shut, but he's open. It's weird. The thing is, it's not like he's someone who's intentionally closed up. It's just his character. He's very stoic, but he's willing to let people in if he feels he can trust them. It's not like someone who's like my other character, Reddick, who's very closed up, very cold. He's not cold. He's just stoic. There's a difference. And that's what's in. Jason is the ultimate calm. He's just, he knows what he has to deal with, he knows what he has to do, and he does it. And that's what makes his character so endearing. He's really this symbol of pure light and darkness, or someone who says he's really the dark angel. And that's what Darkwing is about. He is the dark angel. And I have a whole thing about that much later in the story. And it's just, he's very, someone who's just not affected by darkness. You would figure someone who's lost his parents at 4, been raised coldly his whole life in army and military training, and and then there's a whole other reason why he should be a totally pissed off emo person, but he's not. He's not someone who's affected by dark. And I don't understand. It's like, well, how can you relate to someone who doesn't have problems? And that's what my other character's for. That's what characters like Jacob. Jacob is me. If you get to read the story, Jacob is me. Jacob does things I would do in those situations. Jacob is very faulted, very, messed up. Alucard is very faulted. Tila is faulted. All my other characters, Charcoal, Sydney or Cigar if you want to, Bobo Jackson, Jeremiah for sure, Jeremiah Washington and his brother Sherlock, and everyone, Giovanni, Arthur, Christine, her father Hector, other characters I introduced later in the story like Nina and the Russian Slayer, and then Chain from Finland, and then Aramis Dulac, the French Slayer. Everyone's got problems. Everyone's messed up. Sori Kuriyama from Japan. Just everyone has a problem, and that's what I'm saying. All my characters, there's not a person. Here's another way to look at it. Every Slayer in my story has a power, something that makes him unique, something that makes him a little unhuman. Except for Jason. Jason is the only Slayer without any powers. Yet he is he's the only person without any real problems. And I don't know what that's supposed to really mean anything. That's just a way I would figure you guys to understand it. I can interpret that better, but I'm not going to try because I'm racking up on a 17-minute video. Yeah. So, that's my shit. That's my deal. I'm sure I could explain it more in depth, but that would involve me basically telling the whole story, and I don't want to do that. I want to wait for the chapters are finished and for the comics to be done and stuff like that. If you personally want to know more, feel free to write me, note me, anything. Send me an email, and I'll tell you specific things if you want to. If you promise not to tell, better not tell. I'll come to your house. I'll cut you. Okay. Yeah, it's like 1 in the morning, so I'm a little weird. That doesn't matter. I'm weird at 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 12. Anyway, well, thanks, peoples. Whoever watched this long-ass video. I will see you later. I have many more projects coming up that you will see in the near future. So, until then, later, Space Kataz. And in case you were wondering how that's pronounced. Oh, and if anyone's wondering where I got Space Kataz from, it's from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It's it's what they replaced the Dr. Weird intro or quote open with. The 2 alien races, the Moonanite, the Moonanite. Yeah, okay, that was myself faking tongue. I faked tongue with myself. No, that was me faking speaking in tongues. No, but the cartoon where they have the Moonanites and the 2 aliens fighting, and they call it Space Kataz, and that's just how I refer to people. Putterman's got the ha blah 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 shit going on. Everyone's got something, so I decided to have the thing, and mine was later Space Kataz, because I say later all the time, and I figure I gotta call you people something. So, damn fans and readers. Yeah. Anyway, hey, we're gonna hit the 20-minute mark. 8, 9, 20. Woo! 20-minute video. Sweet. Yeah. I really need to stop. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I think this is done. We're running into the ground. Anyway. Later, Space Kataz. Much later. We're over. It's done. Shoot.